tutorial is going to be in Pro Tools, and I got Battery loaded up here. If you're not familiar with Battery, it's an awesome drum machine from Native Instruments. And what I want to show you guys today is how to separate your drums in Pro Tools with Battery. And this will apply to any other software out there. This here, before I figured this out, I had, if I wanted to separate my channels, let's say I wanted my kicks on one channel, my claps, my hats, everything. If I wanted everything separated, I would load up like 5 or 6 instances of Battery, and naturally that's going to take up your CPU power. Your computer is going to start to choke up. But what I realized that that was totally unnecessary, because there's a feature here in Battery where you can have all your cells loaded up with sounds and just have one instance of Battery loaded up, which is this main channel here, 1 and 2. So let's go ahead and get started real quick. I got some sounds loaded up: kick, clap, claps, and my hi-hat. So what I want to do here, let me just move this out the way. I'm going to create some MIDI channels. So Control Shift N if you're on a PC. Alright, and then we're going to go down to MIDI tracks, and we're going to create 4 MIDI tracks. Alright, so hit create. Okay, now keep in mind this top button here, that's an input, and these are your outputs. Now, because I have Battery loaded up here, this is loaded up on an instrument channel, and if you don't know how to, and if you're new at Pro Tools and you're not really sure how to load up instrument channels, you just go to just Control Shift N. It creates a new track, right? And then you want to go down to instrument track. All right, and depending on what you're doing, you can go mono or stereo, and then you hit create, and it'll create an instrument track for you. And then right here, the way I get this dialog box open, this inserts, you just go right over here, left click, drag it down to inserts A through E, and this will pop up. And then all you have to do is just left click, go to multi-channel plugin, and you just want to go down to instrument and choose your plugin that you're going to use. So that's how I loaded that up. Now what I'm going to do here, I want my kick to be on channel 1, my clap to be on channel 2, snare, my other clap to be on channel 3, and my hi-hat to be on channel 4. And I want to separate all these. So with my kick selected here, okay, I want that on channel 1. So you want to go down to your output, left click on that, and you'll see it shows you Battery is now loaded up. And whatever plugin you have loaded up is going to show you what is loaded up in that dialog. So we want this kick to be on channel 1. Okay, so now it's Battery 1. Okay, and then channel 2, left click, Battery. We want this one to be on channel 2. Our claps there, channel 3, and our hi-hat, channel 4. Battery, channel 4. Okay, now it's still not going to separate, because you have to tell Battery that these are now on independent channels. So right down here, select the kick, right down here where it says MIDI, okay, you want to left click on this button here. You're going to get a drop down box. Okay, now because we have our kick selected and we have it on channel 1, we want to set this to channel 1. Okay, and then the clap, same thing, go down, MIDI channel 2. Other clap, channel 3. Hat, channel 4. Now you're not going to hear anything right now because you don't have your MIDI channel selected. So I'm hitting the kick and you're not hearing anything or seeing anything because it's not selected. Okay, so now that it's selected, boom. If I go on to my next track, okay, MIDI 3, MIDI 4. And you can name these whatever you want. So let's go ahead and just lay down a quick pattern with all of our drum elements separated. Just going to leave this right about here. And I always like to use my dynamic transport, Control Start P, to bring down that dynamic transport. I'm just going to select 4 bars, make sure record is enabled. Here we go. Okay, and now I'm just going to go Alt 0, bring up my event operations so I can quantize that. Make sure your track is selected and your strength is set to 100. Apply. Lines right up there. And as you can see, there's other MIDI notes here. This is the clap, and you're not going to hear the clap, but I was just doing that in reference because I'm doing single element, so I'm not actually hearing the clap to vibe with it. So I just tap my finger, I go kick, kick, clap, you know, so so you're going to get these extra MIDI notes, but the only thing that's going to be playing is right here. So if you hit on any of the other keys, like I'm hitting on some keys right now, you see how that's popping up? You're not going to hear anything except for your kick. So let me undo that. Alright, so now I want to lay down the clap. So I'm just going to select record down there, and I'm still in record mode, we're still going. Alright, okay, so just lay down this clap. Okay, select, Alt 0, apply, cool. Now let's go ahead and lay down the other clap. Alright, and then let's lay down the hats. Actually, I'm going to bring that clap down just a little bit. Alright, now we're going to do the hats. Alright, quantize. Okay, so now we've got a basic pattern only using these elements, and each element is assigned to its own MIDI track. And this is going to be great for mixing, because now you can convert these tracks to audio and mix each element independently of each other. And let me just go ahead and take these out. That's kind of bothering me here. Okay, let me just get those top ones out there. Boom. Okay, so that's how it's done. And just a quick note, when you're quantizing, I'm sure you noticed here when I was laying down these drums, these two elements here, these two drums right here, they kind of locked up a little bit closer than how I recorded them. Just remember that quantize isn't the fix all. I mean, quantize will get your beats on the grid, but there's still going to be times where you're going to have to go in to the MIDI data and just move stuff around. As long as you're playing right with the metronome on the beat, you shouldn't have that problem. But like I said, there are times where your quantize won't always line everything up. But in this case, it lined it up, but it actually sounded okay. It doubled it up in time. Yeah. All right, so that's how you do it. Go ahead and practice that. If you don't have Battery, definitely pick it up. It's an awesome plugin to use for all your tracks. I never run a track without using Battery.